we're going to go live right now to Tony Perkins, who's standing by, who's a very close friend of the new speaker. Tell us your reaction to the new speaker, Mike Johnson, getting in, and what you think about that first big speech we heard from him.
I could just say I'm so proud of Mike. And I was just listening to John Gizzi and his analysis. He's absolutely right. Here's the challenge that the Democrats are going to have, is that Mike is a nice guy. You heard it in the speech. He's got humor. He works across the aisle, and it's not show. There's substance to it. He builds relationships. That's why he's the first speaker, I think, since 2011 to have unanimous support from his colleagues on the Republican side. So you saw classic Mike Johnson. I've known Mike for 25 years, and he is going to be an excellent speaker for the times in which we live, bringing not just Republicans together. I would venture to say he's going to actually bring some Democrats to the table and working with them to advance some key policies.
And that's exactly what we like to hear, because that is what Congress is supposed to do, work across the aisle to get things done for the American people. But we already have heard, Tony, that a lot of pundits, specifically left-wing pundits, big media and beyond, are immediately trying to define him. They were doing that before he even finished his speech. What do you make of that, and how do you respond?
Well, Katrina, I think it's going to be very difficult because it's not going to stick. I mean, yes, that's the nature of today's politics, but this is what's refreshing. And I think you mentioned it, or was mentioned just a moment ago, there was joy in the chamber. That's because it's emanating from Mike. He comes with this, not really seeking it. He stepped forward when there was no other options for people. He felt led to do this, and he comes to it with a sense of confidence and peace and tranquility. That was communicated in the speech. And I'm going to tell you, he is a very, very sharp guy. And he's going to be able to navigate that terrain. Not to say that he's not going to draw fire from the left. He will. But it's going to be hard for them to make it stick because of his style and his personality and the fact that he genuinely likes people.
Our John Gizzi described him from his sources inside Capitol Hill as the happy warrior.
Yeah.
I think that was a great way to describe him in that speech. It was really the first time a lot of us got introduced to the speaker there, Mike Johnson. Would you agree with that, Tony? The happy warrior? It seems accurate.
It is joyful. He has a sense of purpose, and that comes from his faith. He's a strong believer, and that gives him a sense of purpose, a sense of mission. And so but it's first and foremost, and this is what's important, because in politics, this has gotten lost. It's really about people. And he cares about people. And you could go through and you could survey his colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and many of them have had personal conversations with him about issues unrelated to politics, and he listens and he cares about them. It's going to be a new day. In fact, he told me this morning, I was talking to him as he was working on his speech. He said, it's a new day. They're going to see a new thing in this Congress.